Hey everybody, today we are talking about The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill. The Girl Who Drank the Moon is written by the same author who wrote Witch Boy, which is one of the stories that I read last year, and I didn't even realize that I had another book from her. We actually got it for free at a garage sale, and they just were giving away some books, and I'm so glad that we ended up finding it there because this is a really great book. I love the way that's written. I really like her style of writing because even though that technically is an author that writes books for younger children or maybe like younger teenage age, juvenile ages, I think that she does a really good job at making it so that you don't feel like you're reading a book that is too young for you or whatever. I really like the way that she writes and the way that she delivers the story is in a way that makes you want to know what's coming up next. It's clever. I really like the way that she wrote for example, I really like the way that she titled her chapters. A lot of times we get chapters that don't have any kind of a heading or anything. It's just like a number and then you continue on and there's not a title for the chapter. But I love the way she does her titles here. This is chapter 2, in which an unfortunate woman goes quite mad. And so every single chapter is like chapter 4, in which this happens, chapter 5, in which this happens. And I just think it's like a really nice way of introducing, okay, here's what's going to happen. Now you got to read to see what else is going to go on here. The story is about essentially 3 witches: a good witch, an evil witch, and a witch that doesn't yet know she's a witch. And I really liked being able to discover which witch is which. And it is all about this, one of the witches accidentally gives a child too much moon light. The child drinks it for nourishment. She drinks a little bit too much of the moonlight and it causes her to become enmagicked. And I think it's just really a nice little beginning to a story filled with magic, and the way that the magic is going to be used and you're just excited to find out. There is this place called the Protectorate, and I think I said that right. It's basically a town that is sad, full of sorrow. It is that way because every year they have to give the youngest child away to a witch in the woods. Or if they don't, then the witch is going to come and destroy everybody. They're going to, like, the whole town will be ruined. This witch will come and just take over or kill everyone, or just, you don't want to know what happens if you don't deliver the baby to the woods for the witch to take. And everyone assumes that this sacrifice, they call it the Day of Sacrifice, it keeps them safe for a whole other year. And a lot of people just assume that the witch kills the babies, or eats them or something. There's no proof of what the witch actually does with the babies. And so, but all they know is that for sure the witch exists because every time that they deliver the baby, they don't have to worry. They are safe. The witch never comes and hurts them, and the babies are never seen again. So of course, like, something bad happened to them. Like, what other conclusion would you come to? This basically is where our story begins, with a baby needing to be sacrificed. And as we continue to read, we find out what happens with that particular baby and the truth behind the witch in the woods that everyone is afraid of. And the way that we figure out which of the witches are good and which of them are bad. And I just didn't even know for a while that there was this like third witch, and then once you discover that, you're like, oh, and then pieces start coming together and it makes so much sense. And yeah, I just really liked the way that certain characters were revealed and character arcs were done really well. We have a really good growth, especially with the Simply Enormous Dragon. This is the Simply Enormous Dragon right here. He believes he's simply enormous, but he's this size. And he just believes that Luna here is a giant, and everyone else that he knows is giant because he's also really big, but they're bigger because they're giants. And so he just never even realizes that he's just like really actually very quite small. And I love the way that his character develops throughout this. One of our witches, Zan, is very old. She's 500 years old. She doesn't remember so much from her childhood, and part of her journey is discovering those things that she forgot. And there's a couple of other characters that are in that same situation that are also in that span of time, 500 years old, that are her friends, and that we get to learn little things throughout the book from each of these characters. Each chapter kind of focuses on one character, and then it goes to another character. So after a while, you've had a lot of development before you go back to the character. Oh yeah, that character, we haven't heard from them for a while. What's going on? I like that though, because it really gives every character their like what they need, their time. There's not any character that gets like left out and hardly has any page time, screen time, whatever you want to call it. So I appreciated that we got to have a good amount of every character being represented so that all of their character growth and development could happen by the end of the book. So if you're looking for something that is a really enjoyable read, that is perfect for October, that involves witches and little dragons and swamp monsters and just lots of magical things, then I would definitely read this book because I think it was really great. And a nice little book, especially if you've been reading heavier stuff, more thriller horror books this spooky season. This is a nice little refresher of just kind of getting something different. So yeah, if you read this before, because it's not a new book by any means, it's been out for quite a while. So if you've already read it before, let me know what you think. And thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.